Welcome back to Ask Nico, where you guys ask me questions and I try my best to give you guys advice. The first question is from the front. Hey, I love to watch your videos, can't watch all, but I really do appreciate them. So let's come straight to the point. I'm currently 17 and I'm trying to find a hobby for myself which I can pursue as a career in my future. But my parents are suggesting me to go for a government job as it's more secure, has a decent paycheck, and they are in one too. But I just don't want to. I have tried doing video editing as a hobby and I am working on it for 5 years, yet things are not going as expected. I'm going to abbreviate this comment, but basically the front goes on to say that they're not getting the results they expected and are debating whether they should quit or not, because sometimes the speed that they're going at will never make them a video editor and they'll always be behind. So I'm struggling a little bit with the terminology of finding a hobby that you can turn into a career. It sounds a little bit like you don't even really know what the hobby is yet. You're just throwing things at the wall. And I don't necessarily think that's a great way to look for a career. When you want to turn a hobby into a career, you usually know exactly what that hobby is. You don't normally start with the idea that you want to turn any hobby into a career. You usually say, oh, I really like art. I'm going to try and turn that into a career. Or I really like making YouTube videos. I'm going to try and turn that into a career. But when you go with the notion of, I'll take any hobby and turn it into a career, you're sort of setting yourself up for failure because you're not really committed to the hobby itself yet. You're more so committed to the idea of it making you money. When you have that mindset, you'll always find it easier to switch up your hobbies rather than working harder at being better at said hobby before you can turn it into a career. So you use video editing as an example, and you said that it's taking you a while to do the, advanced level video editing stuff. Editing takes a while, okay? And for some people, it takes a lot longer than others. Believe me when I say I've been editing for over a decade now, okay? That's a long time, and I'm still learning things that some people would consider the basics sometimes. So I wouldn't worry too much about that part of the equation. You'll learn, especially if you get thrown into a situation where you need to learn quickly. Because right now, as you said, it's a hobby. You need a certain fire under your ass to learn things faster. But back to the main point of making this hobby your career, make sure you actually like this hobby enough. Because right now, based on the way I'm reading this, it sounds like you're kind of just going for the highest bidder in terms of hobbies that'll make you money. Now, let's go to a second part of this. Your parents are suggesting you to go get a government job that's more secure, decent paycheck, right? So here's the thing. Your parents are always going to offer you the most secure and safe thing that they know and they've done before because they know it works and they want the best for you. So I wouldn't fault them on that. Now, if you don't want to do that, then don't do that, okay? It's a good backup, especially considering they have experience in it and they also work in the government. So you can always kind of have that connection there. But if you really think that you're going to be unhappy doing that, then by all means, don't do it, okay? And then there's another piece in here where you say you don't think you have a choice anymore because your editing expertise hasn't gotten good enough fast enough. And you're asking if you should quit and do what your parents say. I don't think you should do what your parents say for sure. That's number one. But as far as you quitting, I don't think you should quit. I think you should try your hardest to work at it, become as good as you can, and if you find that you're not enjoying yourself at all, that's when you should quit. That's what happened with me. I started doing editing professionally, and I found out after almost a year that I didn't like it professionally. I very much enjoyed it as a hobby. Now, should you quit? You have to ask yourself this question. Are you unhappy because you're not seeing the results you want? Or are you unhappy because you are not happy with what you're doing? If it's the former, if you're unhappy with the results, you can always get better. You can always edit more, practice more. And that applies to any job. You can always do it more and longer and practice it more. And eventually you'll get those results. If you're now unhappy with the job and the concept and everything around it, then that's when you should quit. Because that's part of the process. That's what editing is. That's what you have to do. That's the job. And final point. You're only 17, okay? You have a major head start on people, okay? At 17, you have an intermediate level of editing expertise. Most people your age don't have that, okay? Most people your age are not going to start to edit until they're in their college years or something. So use that to your advantage, okay? Use that extra time to your advantage. And another thing is, most people at 17 don't know what they want to do with their life. The only thing most people know is that they want to be comfortable and do something they enjoy. But for you to do something you enjoy, in this particular case, you might need to try some new things, or you just might need to work a bit harder on your editing skills. And you shouldn't listen to your parents as far as the government job if you really don't want to do it. But it's not a bad backup. So I hope this helps. Best of luck, and on to the next question. The next question is from Polsky8. Hi Nico, love your vids. I'm currently studying an engineering degree. I pass my subjects without much effort. I hang out with friends and family, play video games, watch sports, etc. The thing is, I feel if I put more effort into my studies, I would be able to not just pass, but get really good grades, but I just don't feel motivated to do so. The thing is, everyone and everything around me tells me I should try and be excellent and put all the effort I can into things, and I just don't see the point. If anything, getting better grades will lead into a better job and therefore more money, which obviously I wouldn't mind, but I don't think having a better car or a huge house will really improve my life that much. To sum up, my question is, can I be happy with a simple, quiet life, or should I pursue something more? This is a great question, and I think a lot of people struggle with this specific question. The answer is, you can be happy with a quiet life, okay? You can absolutely be happy with what you have. And it seems like you are happy with what you have. You say you have decent grades, right? You do hang out with your friends and your family. You play video games and watch sports, which you like. And that's fine. That can be you. You don't need to have the turbo sigma grind set that everybody has in this country right now. And everyone around the world seems to be glamorizing through TikTok and Instagram Reels or whatever. If you are okay with where you are, then by all means, stay where you are. You don't have to put in more effort. However, if you want something more, and if you truly think you want something more, that's when you go for the more effort. You say you don't want a huge house or the highest paying job, that's fine. What you're doing is fine. If you think you can achieve everything you want with what you're doing, then you're on the right track. Don't let anyone tell you what they think you should be doing because they are on a different track than you, okay? I'll give you myself as an example. I constantly kick myself to do more and to do better in my life because I want more in my life. I'm not fully content with where I am. So that's what drives me to do more. Now, you might find in your life at some point that say, oh, I would like to do more, right? I would like to get a higher paying job. So maybe then you decide, oh, maybe I'll go back to college and get a master's or a PhD in engineering, whatever you would need to do, right? Maybe you start a family and you say, I need more money, to provide a better life for my family. That's when you make those changes. Now, what I will say is it's good to have the extra stepping stone. It's good to be ahead of the curve in case you want to achieve said curve in the future. So if you get amazing grades now and you can get the highest paying job already, and you still go for the lower paying job, the one that doesn't require as much effort and as much responsibility, that's fine. You still have the credibility or the skill set to do the higher paying job based on your schooling, right? Now, the schooling alone, of course, is not going to determine that, but you know what I mean. Now, I'm going to say something that might contradict a bit of what I'm saying here. I think in general in life that you should put the most amount of effort you can in everything you do. So if you can get better grades, why not go for it? But here's the thing. If you're going to sacrifice other things that you don't want to sacrifice in order to get those better grades, then I don't think you have to, okay? I don't think you have to do that, especially if you're happy in your current situation. There's a lot of give and take, a lot of push and pull when it comes to things like this. So be wary of all of that. So to conclude, if you think that you're happy where you are, you don't have to move. You don't have to go higher. Not everything in life needs to be better and the best thing. Your mentality right now is actually one that I think more people should adapt. You can be happy with what you have without needing more. Thank you for your comment. Best of luck to you. And on to the next one. The next question is from Jonas. Hey dude, I'm 14 years old and I'm kind of having a hard time with some stuff. I'm doing fine in school and I got lots of hobbies, but they all require a screen. Speed cubing needs a timer, chess is just online, producing needs an app, and video games are the biggest waste. I want to play video games, I want to do all this stuff, but how do I know that I'm not wasting my life? I spend like a fourth or even half of my day on my phone and computer. I'm not really athletic, I'm bombarded with all sorts of advice and opinions, and I have a scrolling habit. I've kind of started with expressing my feelings more to the right people and getting out of my comfort zone. Yet I'm stuck. How can I not waste this summer? So first of all, you're 14 years old, okay? You have plenty of time to waste time. You have plenty of time to just have fun and do what you like. If you want to play video games, play some video games. If you want to speed cube, speed cube. You might not like to hear this, but you're still a teenager. You're still a kid. Do what you want. Now, if it feels like you are wasting your summer because you're not getting outside and you're not getting athletic, the easiest way to start is right now, as you're watching this video, I want you to get up, go outside for a walk. Just go for a walk. Go around your neighborhood. Go around the block. Go just take a little bit of a walk. Go outside, get some fresh air, and see how you like it. And then tomorrow, maybe go a little bit further. And then the next day, go a little bit further. Then the day after that, you might say, Maybe I'll do more than walk. Maybe I'll run. Or maybe I'll go through this forest and explore a little bit. And that's how you kind of get yourself into doing other things that are outside of your comfort zone. Start small. Start with baby steps. If you don't feel like going on a full walk the first day, just go outside your door and sit on the porch. Okay, have a little glass of lemonade or soda or whatever you like. And I understand the stigma of being chronically online, okay? I was the chronically online kid. When I was a kid, I used to live near a beach, okay? Like I was 5 minutes from a beach and I couldn't stand the beach, okay? I didn't like the sea. I didn't like the salt water. I didn't like the sand. I just didn't like the beach. The only time I really went was when I was with my friends. Other than that, I would rather stay in and play video games for the most part because that's what I like to do. I like being inside and gaming. I don't think you're necessarily wasting your life by playing video games. It's a pastime. It's a hobby. It's something you like to do. Now, of course, there's a limit to everything, right? If you're always online and always doing just online things, maybe you can take a little bit of a break from it. Maybe you do just give yourself a limit on how much screen time you're getting. You can download different apps that will limit your screen time. But to answer your question more directly, a way not to waste this summer is to just do what you want. Do what you want this summer. You have school off. Play video games. Go out with your friends. Take a walk, change a habit that you want to change. And the way to start is just by doing baby steps, one thing at a time. You want to start playing basketball? Go to a local basketball court or buy a basketball, tie it to money, and then just bounce the ball around, even if you don't want to go to a court. And then eventually you'll get bored of bouncing the ball around and go to a court. Maybe you'll invite some friends. Maybe you'll make some friends there. Do what you want and make some baby steps. Hope this helps, and best of luck to you. The next question is from someone that I cannot pronounce the name of. I want to be an entrepreneur, but my parents are telling me to study so I can go to university and work for some boss, but I don't want to work a 9 to 5 for my whole life just to be part of the 95% of people. What do I have to do? For you to not go to university, for you not to do the 9 to 5 and everything, you need to prove to your parents that you can handle what entrepreneurship is. You need to prove to your parents, you have to sell to them rather, what your idea is, what your business plan is. You have to do your research and do your due diligence and say, look, I'm going to do this, this, and this, and you better be prepared to answer any question they have. If you say to them, you're going to build a company that sells doors, okay? You better be prepared to answer everything about doors to them. If they say to you, okay, you're selling doors, what makes them special? And you're going to have an answer for that. If they say, what kind of doorknob is going to come with each door? You better have an answer. You have to become an expert in whatever product you're going to sell, whatever service you're going to sell with your business and whatever you're going to do in order to convince your parents that you have a standing chance in doing whatever you say you're going to do. Now, there's always a chance, by the way, there's always the chance that your parents may not be supportive of this regardless of what you tell them. And that's the point where you have to make the decision to just disregard them. But that comes with the issue of they might kick you out. They might say you're either going to college or we're not paying for any of your groceries and your housing. You're on your own. You have to be prepared for that. Part 2 of this equation is if you really don't want to do this 9 to 5 stuff, you better be prepared for what the other side of that is. Entrepreneurs work all the time and they work really hard, and a lot of times they fail and things don't go well, and sometimes they don't land on their feet. So before you go hating on the 9 to 5 life, make sure you understand what the entrepreneurship life is. And another part about you presenting your business plan to your parents and what you're going to do to your parents is that it's going to make it a lot easier for you to then have to present all of this stuff to someone who's going to invest in your business, because you're going to need investors and people who actually believe in your product before anyone is going to be even willing to put it on a shelf so that people can buy said product, or same with a service. I'm sure there's a lot more that a more qualified person in business can tell you about this, so take everything I'm saying here with a grain of salt and get second opinions, lots of them. In any case, best of luck. I hope it all works out for you. And the final question is from PowerPlasLol725 ? Hey Nico, I'm a 19-year-old first-year university student who's frustrated with my love life. I've never been on a date my whole life so far. No girls have ever really showed interest in me, and all my high school crushes have rejected me. No one ever really told me I'm attractive, and I don't consider myself particularly handsome despite the fact that I go to the gym and exercise regularly. And seeing all my peers doing far better than me at getting girls and finding love is really starting to eat away at my confidence and self-esteem. I love your videos very much, as I find your advice very insightful. Okay, so I'm going to assume that you're a guy based on this comment, okay? If you're not, my apologies, but I'm going to answer it as if you are a guy. There are a few things you need to understand about the dynamics of male-female relationships, okay? First things first, the thing you gotta understand about girls is that most of the time, girls don't go for looks, okay? I've heard so many girls that say, I go for medium ugly guys because they have better personalities. You could look like an absolute troll, but if you're funny and witty and have interesting things to say and hobbies, girls will find you very interesting, and girls will actually like you better than the guy who's a meathead that goes to the gym, okay? Now, that being said, you going to the gym can be a plus for certain girls. Certain girls actually really like muscular guys. Others do not. Others might like twinks. You know, it doesn't matter. Everyone has their type and whatnot. Don't work out just to get the girls. Work out for yourself, okay? Work out for your own health and well-being. Also, I understand. It sucks being rejected. It sucks not being anyone's pick. And it is really rough out there, okay? It's really rough out there, especially for us guys, because we're not the prize. Girls are considered the prize. So we have to make ourselves the prize by leveling up in life. And I have some more bad news for you. You're going to keep getting rejected, okay? It's going to keep happening. And there's no way you can avoid that. But the more girls you ask out, the more girls you talk to, the more girls you hang out with, the bigger and better your odds are of actually having one say, you know what, I will go on a date with you. Just like anything, it's a practice makes perfect game, okay? And the more you do it, the more comfortable you'll be talking to women. The more you do it, the more things you'll find to say to women. And it'll become a lot more casual for you, okay? When it becomes casual and you're not anxious and nervous, things will go a lot better for you because girls can smell the anxious, the nervous, the scared. They can feel it from a mile away. It's a crazy skill they have. They're much better social creatures than us guys. You just got to treat it casually, okay? You have to make it playful. You have to make them think, oh, he's not like really bothered by my presence and I know I'm pretty, but wait, what? Why is he not being thrown off by me? You have to be a little mysterious and you have to be confident. Overall, you have to be confident. You have to think of yourself as that guy, okay? When you go walking up to a girl, you have to think of yourself as the guy who has everything while you have nothing, which basically means be confident but be humble at the same time. And I promise you, you will find so much more success by doing that. And the good thing about college is that everyone there is looking for love, dude. Everyone there is looking for a fling, a hookup, a relationship, something. So just keep asking girls out. Just go up to one that you think is attractive and say, hey, I saw you from over there and I really needed to talk to you because I think you're really attractive. And I was wondering if I could possibly get your Instagram or phone number or whatever the hell. Instagram is easier. Most girls will give it to you anyway. And she can only really say thank you to you calling her pretty. There's not really much else going on there. So it's a way of starting the conversation positively. And then from there, ask her name. And she might show interest back and ask you your name and make a compliment back. Some girls actually do that. And then from there, ask her to go out for coffee or ice cream. Something that's not a huge commitment because coffee and ice cream can be a 15-minute date. Whereas if you go to a dinner somewhere, that can be like half an hour to an hour. And if you don't like her or she doesn't like you, there's a whole thing. I could go on and on about this for an hour, okay? About the possibilities of what you can do to talk to women. But it seems to me that all you really need is to ignore the past rejections. Those are all in the past. It's like they didn't happen. It's hard. I know it's hard, but you just have to trust me on this one. And act like you're the man. And hype yourself up. When you go to the gym, hype yourself up and say, you know what? I have these redeeming qualities and any girl would be lucky to have me. And if you kind of tell yourself that and you kind of just allow yourself to think positively about it, then girls will also start to think positively about you. Because they can see it in your demeanor. They can see it in the way you walk. They can feel it in the energy around you, that you're more confident than the average guy. So I hope this helps. It's kind of a ramble, but those are a few steps that you should take. But best of luck to you, and one will come around, brother. One will come around. And with that, thank you all so much for watching this video. If you would like me to answer your question, leave it in the comments below. And as always, good night and good luck, everybody.